What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of 11 Marriage Huntsville. This is Season 6, Episode 10, and the episode is titled Unpaid in Full. Let's jump right into the review. So we're starting off with Tiffany talking to Lewis, letting him know that she's seeing stars, she doesn't feel well, and Stormy happened to be in the room. Stormy is somebody that, like me, and I would have definitely done the same thing she did. Kimmy's a nurse. Let me go find Kimmy, because they sent her to go get water. She went and got the water, but she also went and got Kimmy. So Kimmy comes through. She's asking her questions about like her blood pressure and all this stuff. And she's like, I suggest that you call 911 or, head to the hospital. And for some reason, Tiffany is totally against it. She's like, no, don't call 911, all this stuff. And I'm just like, girl, you're about to have a baby. Like, any type of issues, especially where you are in your pregnancy, you need to go to a doctor. Now, I'm going to assume that her reasoning was because she didn't want to pay that ambulance bill. So next thing you know, you have Stormy on the phone calling the 911, but Lewis is like, no, I'm going to take her. They carry her out to the car, and they zoom off in the pickup truck. All right, so let's slide on to the next scene, and that is with Marcel. He is on a piece of land where him and Gino, this is going to be their first project working together under scope. What is it going to be? I have no idea. So Maurice ends up showing up, and he's like, I'm proud of you and all this stuff. And he tells him, like, okay, so you already have Scott Manor. You're supposed to be working on a facility for Letitia, as well as, this project. Like, you don't think that you need to slow down. Here's my question. When is Scott Manor even going to break ground? Has he started working on that yet? And also, what do you mean Letitia's facility? So you mean to tell me you couldn't make space in your office for her? She has to be in a whole nother building? Or is she creating a separate business that requires her to have a facility? I'm just curious. So the whole point of this scene was for them to all get together and take a photo. Because you have Gino there, Maurice is there in the photo, Letitia, a bunch of other people. Yeah, they could have skipped this entire scene. Like, I feel like I'm giving a major side eye to them in this photo just because it seemed like there were just a bunch of random people in the shot. For example, Gino's daughter was in the photo. She don't work in construction. Maurice is in the shot. He has nothing to do with this property or construction at this point because he's a lawyer, right? Isn't he supposed to be an attorney? Last time I checked. And he's a credit man. He fixes people's credit. Nonetheless, they have a conversation. And you have Maurice talking about how, not Maurice, Marcel talking about how great it is working with Gino, how they just come together, the ideas work, blah, blah, blah. Now he about to try to resell us the comeback group because he basically wants everyone to put their pride to the side and try to make the comeback group work. Now, according to Maurice, he feels like there's a lot of ego in the room. Is there ego in the room? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I think these people know their worth, and you can't just pull a fast one on them. Well, some of them you probably can. Like Martell. You could probably pull a fast one on him. But as far as the ladies, especially Kimmy and Mel, absolutely not. So you already know Marcel is going to bring it around town and let us know that he doesn't feel like they need to be paying people. Their whole point is that if they do get sponsorship and it's $100,000 of sponsorship, basically whatever money is left over from that, then it can go into another event that if someone else wants to plan one. Here's the problem in all of this. Every person on this show, your status has raised since being on this show. Number one. Number two, what's annoying is that you have Letitia chiming in, and while she's saying that it's not about the money, that's fine and dandy, but let's be for real. What is this event even about? Because you're going to have a Black Business Expo. Are y'all about to teach people how to get into real estate or how to do this or do that? Or are you going to upsell them once they get there that they can sign up for your program, sign up for your masterclass, and then you're going to upcharge them there? I'm just trying to understand what information are you even trying to give out at this expo? Because let's be honest, doing the type of business that Marceau does, it's not something that you can do overnight. It's not. You're not just going to randomly start building houses, building, being a contractor. That's not something that happens overnight. Letitia, you owning Scope, that didn't even happen overnight. And then when you accumulate everything that everybody else has to bring to the table, these people went to school for these things. Like, I'm pretty sure even when Kimmy got started in real estate, she probably took a real estate class, or she may have had to take some type of test. Like, I just feel like there's a lot of other things that are going into the value that these people are bringing to the table. And the fact that they don't want to pay anybody is blowing my mind. Because again, if this event is free, what are you teaching? Or is it, what are you selling? All right, y'all, now let's move on over to Melody. She meets with her lawyer, Caleb, and we learn that in her business, she has already started to transition the name Melody Cherie, because she no longer wants to use Hope. And she actually wants to go back to her maiden last name, which is Rogers. Now, unfortunately for Mel, she is actually not able to legally change her name just yet. And that is because she's going through a custody battle with her ex-husband, Martell. And according to the law, you cannot be going through any type of court cases while you are trying to legally change your name. Now, y'all, let's actually get into this court case, because Mel is actually opening up a little bit about what has been going on with the court case with Martell. So she's like, I felt like a lot of the questions were invasive. They asked for, her cell phone records. They were asking for, her bank statements. And then here goes her lawyer. He's like, yeah, I've never had a judge, try to ask for social media passwords. Baby, the only reason why they're trying to get those passwords is so Martell can have access to Melody and what's going on in her DMs. That is crazy to me. Like, her DMs have nothing to do with the custody of the kids. Like, it is so crazy the amount of foolishness that Mel has to go through when it comes to Martell. I mean, luckily for her, when her lawyer asked, has he calmed down on the pop-ups at your house and, random calling, she said he calmed down on that. Now, speaking of Martell, we slide on over to him, and he is meeting up with someone by the name of Miguel Wilson, who is a fashion designer. So the whole point of this meeting was because Martell now wants to design suits. Y'all know he is reaching for anything to make some money. Now, according to this man, he's going to need about $100,000 to get started. I don't know if Martell actually has $100,000. I really don't. Probably not. But nonetheless, he feels like this is something that he can really do and lean into. And honestly, I hope that it is something that Martell can be successful at, because he's not successful in that wine business. We all know that he has not passed the test, so that way he can get his builder's license. I mean, the man is failing left and right. I need at least one thing to stick, so that way he can actually provide some type of financial stability for his children when they come to stay with him. That's what I'm hoping for. But let's move along to Lewis and Tiffany. Baby girl is laid up in the bed. Honestly, she didn't even look like she was pregnant in this scene to me. But nonetheless, was there anything wrong with Tiffany? She actually had low blood pressure, which is the opposite, because most women get high blood pressure when they're pregnant. The doctor told her that she needs to slow down. But is she trying to slow down? No, because she's in the bed planning her last business trip, because she was asked to speak somewhere, I think it was DC, about whatever it is she knows. And I'm just like, girl, so you just gonna completely avoid what the doctor said? Okay, girl. So Lewis, he is expressing how he feels about Tiffany while she's pregnant, because he doesn't want his wife to be going through all of this when she can do simple things like relax and go lay down somewhere. And what's crazy to me is that he talked about how she basically lost feeling in her right arm. And I was like, wait, we didn't even know that happened. Maybe that happened when they got to the hospital. I don't know. But it's crazy that Tiff is out here giving pushback because her husband is telling her to rest. But we finally talk about what Big Lou and Eminem was talking about outside of the baby shower. And he's trying to figure out how Marceau is even involved. Like, it doesn't matter that it was that black. You were not involved in the situation, which I agree. Marceau was definitely being extra. I love the fact that Big Lou called him Betty Crocker and said he always trying to be in the mix. I said, yep, that sounds about right. I think I might have to start calling him Betty Crocker. Now, one thing that I did appreciate in this conversation was that Lewis did have to let Tiff know, girl, everybody don't know you like that, so you can't just be asking him all these crazy questions. And she does say that she needs to change her approach. But when it comes down to her getting involved in Mel and Martell's business, she keeps trying to give unsolicited advice, and these people are not asking for it. So that means leave it alone, sis. But I get it. You're trying to make a reality TV show work. Honestly, that is what Tiffany is here for. I know we may not like her approach. We may not like the things that she says. But honestly, Tiffany is trying to get the mess started and going so that way we have something to watch on this reality show. Alright, so we now have Kimmy and Mel meeting up before the others get there to the comeback group meeting. So they talk about how, where they stand when it comes to this whole comeback group / Black Business Expo that Tisha and Marceau are trying to put together. And basically, Kimmy's like, listen, it depends on how much they want us to actually be involved. Because if they're expecting them to be hands-on with this project, then this needs to not be a Marceau and Tisha thing. This needs to be something that all of them can put their name on. And if we're being honest, it just sounds like another comeback group project. The only thing is that they're reselling the comeback group as a Tisha and Marceau idea. So we get deeper into the comeback group conversation and learn that actually Kimmy is the one who has like all the paperwork on it, and they pay the taxes on the comeback group name and all of that, and they never dissolved it. So she feels like, hey, if we never dissolved it and at the end of the day you want all of us to participate, why not use the comeback group, name and all of that? Because technically Mel was the only person who wanted to drop the whole comeback group idea. Now that was true. Even though they were clashing a lot, Mel was the only one who was fed up and done. Alright, now Kimmy definitely thinks she's slick with this one because she talks about how, she's starting radiation, but what she really needs after radiation is done is a vacation. So Mel is like, girl, well, where you want to go? And she's like, oh, well, where did you go? Because she wants to know about Mel and who her new man is, because it was clear that in the post that Mel was posting, she was booed up with somebody. And y'all already know that Mel is not biting that bullet. She's not saying a word about who she's dating, and I understand completely why she isn't. Now, maybe her and Kimmy can talk on the phone, you know what I'm saying, when the cameras aren't rolling, if she feels comfortable enough to tell Kimmy that information. But we already know Kimmy's going to pillow talk to Maurice, who is besties with Martell. So that ain't going to work either. So the guys finally show up, which is going to be Maurice and Marceau, which is 30 minutes later. Now, here comes Martell strolling in, and he tries to give Mel a handshake. She was just like, what's up, Martell? Kept a straight face, didn't even look his way, and I completely understand. Don't come up in this meeting pretending like we friends, but we really going through a custody battle in real life. So Tisha finally arrives, and it's time to start the meeting. And she's like, I asked you guys to email me what y'all wanted to talk about at the expo, but I didn't get any emails. And everybody's like, nah, because you were supposed to email us. Sounds like we're already off to a rocky start. So Tisha lets them know that they have made a decision, as well as her tossing her hair with a hair flip, that they aren't going to be paying anybody within this group. I said, well, what group will be getting paid, Letitia? Because it sounds like you have some money that will be set aside for maybe other speakers, but you're expecting for this group of people to provide not only their time, but you want them to speak on probably a panel and be the people who post on their social media for people to actually show up. That's actually asking a lot, Letitia. Now, according to her, she feels like they have all made a lot of money off of the community, and it's time for them to give back. Number one, that's not your decision to make. And number two, No, only people who I feel like can really make money off of the community is you and your husband, because you have a business that is located in Huntsville. When you think of Mel's businesses, she's mostly shipping product, and that's going around the world, because she has her business with J Bolin, which is the clothing business that she has. She has her home decor business, that's shipping, 7th Avenue shipping, as well as a few other endeavors that Mel has. So I don't know if we all on the same page here, Letitia. I think you and your husband have been eating quite well because people want to come to Black. Now, as she furthers her speech, did y'all catch how Tisha was like, we're able to, speak at other engagements because of what we've done with the comeback group? Girl, that is not why. People choose Mel because they love her story and they want to hear more from her. And she's a very smart businesswoman. Same thing with Kimmy and even with the other guys. People want to hear from them, not because of the comeback group, but because they're on TV and we see them every week. What exactly are you trying to talk about, Letitia? Now, one thing about Kimmy and her binder, she's going to fact check some things in this situation because she just wants a bit more clarity as to what is the whole purpose of this meeting. I feel like that's where she's coming from, because if you're going to keep referencing the comeback group, then this needs to be basically a group decision on how we're going to handle things. But since y'all want to be saying, oh no, we've decided this, that, another, but then you're going to try to resell the comeback group to these same people, it makes no sense. Now, Martell, he wants to know why they don't feel like they need to pay anybody. Now, he could definitely use a check, but it's still a valid question, especially in the way that he actually defended, I guess you could say defended Melody, because she's the first one who actually questioned them getting paid. Because at the end of the day, we already know, I think Mel has the largest following out of everybody on this show. If she posted on her social media, people are going to show up for sure, for sure. And on top of that, this woman is a public speaker. But y'all have completely shut down the idea of even attempting to pay her, because according to Letitia, she didn't email me her information. Girl. Now here come Dr. Maurice Luther King Jr. talking about how they all need to donate their time and how they need to do this for free. Sir, shut up. So now we have Mel calling them out for now they want to talk about how, sponsorship this, sponsorship that, when she's the one who even told them about getting sponsors. Now, y'all, this is where Marceau really lost me, because according to him, you are greedy if you feel like you need to be paid for working this event. That's not greedy, sir. That's knowing your worth, especially in a situation where you know what you're bringing to this table, while y'all try to downplay everybody in this room. So it get a little heated in the moment. You have Marceau feeling his way, Melody feeling her way. Melody's like, listen, I've been putting on, Mel and Mimosas for about 3-4 years. Never got no sponsorship from nobody at this table. Now, y'all remember that one time they had, some type of 5K or whatever. And I believe that there was a few people who sponsored some of it, because I think it was Marceau. and Tisha's 5K. And Kimmy and Maurice were supposed to sponsor it or something. Y'all remember that drama? I think it was maybe 2 seasons ago or whatever. So now we're circling back to these people don't even support each other. And I understand what Mel is saying. Y'all track record, y'all ain't never supported me. So why should I waste my time doing what you're asking me to do when I can be doing whatever I want to do? And then for Letitia to bring up the fact that Mel threw her out of the skincare party that she had. And so what? Y'all wasn't even friends then, number one. And number two, you were not there trying to really be supportive. You was just mad because Kimmy got an invitation and you didn't. Now, y'all, what did Kimmy do for most of this foolishness? Sat there and listened, because she has heard what everybody has to say. And she's like, listen, I don't believe y'all. Y'all need to tell this lie to somebody else, Letitia and Marceau. There's no way y'all want to put out a Black Expo and you're not making any money off of it. You're putting thousands and thousands of dollars into it and not making nothing on the back end. Be for real. So now we have Maurice chiming in, and he feels like they're just trying to resell the comeback idea when it was their idea to begin with. Y'all, that is where we left off. There's going to be more drama in this meeting happening next week. And according to the preview, we're going to see Mel on a pole dancing as well as Nell. I don't need to see Nell anymore. I feel like Nell is really trying to be a cast member on the show. And baby, I don't have time for the Fletchers. No offense, but I feel like Nell is probably as old as Melody's mother. I don't ever need to see her on a pole. You know what, y'all? Let's go ahead and wrap this up. That was the episode. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.